Hey guys, today we'll be doing the unboxing and overview of the 2022 MacBook Air M2. So yeah, this is going to be an upgrade to my MacBook Air. A few years ago I did a video unboxing my MacBook Air M1. So yeah, I'm going to upgrade to the M2. Main reason for that is actually not because of the more powerful processor. It's because when I ordered my MacBook Air M1 2 years ago, I chose the wrong configuration. I got the one with 8 gigs. And 8 gigs of RAM really isn't enough when you're doing video editing and you have just, in addition to surfing the internet and doing the regular stuff online. 8 gigs just isn't enough in 2022. Yeah, especially if you're multitasking, video editing like me. I use my MacBook the most for video editing, right? I would say most of my, not all the videos, the vlogs and stuff like that, I use Camtasia for to record the screen. My gaming videos, I use either NVIDIA Shadowplay or I use Camtasia. But for every other video, the non-gaming ones and the non-vlogs, like all my music videos, all my gadget reviews and stuff like that, I use iMovie. So that's all on my MacBook. So yeah, 8 gigs of RAM just isn't enough. So I saw that the new MacBook Air was coming out, the M2. So I figured might as well just get the M2 instead of getting another M1 with the 16 gigabyte configuration. So I got the M2 this time with the 16 gigabyte configuration. So that would help me out with the video editing and multitasking, because yeah, my MacBook Air M1, it just freezes up a lot because there just isn't enough memory. Yeah, doing the regular multitasking plus video editing is too much for it. So I really need to upgrade the memory. And with MacBooks, it's not user upgradable, so I do have to get a new MacBook whenever I want to upgrade the memory. So yeah, this is the MacBook Air M2. Mostly getting this because I want a new MacBook with 16 gigs of memory, and might as well get the new one that came out because I do kind of like the new design of the MacBook Air as well. Yeah, so not much of the back. You can tell the configuration here. It is the 16 gigabytes of RAM, of course, that's the important thing. 256 gig storage, I think that's always been enough for me. And because I have a NAS storage, so I mostly offload most of my videos. If I need more storage space, I usually use my Synology NAS for that. 13.6 inch because the bezels are actually, yeah, they've been reduced on the MacBook Air, so you have more display. So compared to the 13.3 inch on previous MacBook Airs, and 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU here. This is not the 10-core GPU configuration. So yeah, basically I just got the base configuration except with 16 gigs of RAM, which comes out to about $1,400. So it's a lot of money, but thankfully I have a friend that works at Apple and he was able to give me a discount. So I really had to thank my friend for helping me out with this, because yeah, if you just get the new MacBook Air M2 with 16 gigs of RAM as the only upgrade, it's still $1,400, which is quite expensive. But thankfully my friend was able to give me a discount since he works at Apple. Alright, so let's get going with this unboxing. It's pretty simple because Apple has always had minimal stuff in their packaging. So here we go. Actually, show you guys what else is inside. Not much, actually. You have this normal, designed by Apple in California. I mean, everyone who has bought an Apple product has seen this. MacBook Air. Let's see, you get the Apple stickers. Really not much, right? The Apple really tries to reduce its footprint. These days, I mean, they will actually take a lot of stuff out of the packaging just to say that they're being more environmentally friendly. Like, they don't package chargers with your iPhones anymore to reduce the case size and stuff like that. They say it's for the environment. I mean, yes, I guess, but it also means they save money. They don't have to pack all that stuff. So this is the USB-C to MagSafe. That's interesting. So yeah, they switched back to MagSafe with the new MacBook Air. Which is cool because I actually really liked MagSafe before. I don't know why they took it out. I guess that's back in 2016 when they released the butterfly keyboard MacBook Pros, and yeah, they went kind of crazy removing the ports and everything. they just removed MagSafe, they removed all the ports, and we just went strict USB-C. Then put the shitty butterfly keyboards in. Like, that's when Apple kind of went crazy. So I'm really glad they brought back MagSafe. I really don't know why they took it out in the first place. I always thought this was a really cool thing to have. My old MacBook Pros, I got, before 2016, had MagSafe 2 actually, which I also always liked. So that's one of the things I found unique about MacBooks before, and then they took it out. So I'm glad that they brought back MagSafe, and this time with USB-C connection. That's cool. And then we have the charging brick here, which is a normal. If you've ever used MacBooks, I need to get an extension cord for this, because yeah, this wall wart is pretty massive, so it will actually take up a lot of space on your wall. So yeah, that's why I recommend getting an extension cord for this. It will take up less space, and it will also obviously extend the cable. So yeah, highly recommend getting an extension cord. That's what I'm going to get. Yeah, because this is going to take up a lot of space on your wall, or just if you have any kind of power bar, this is going to take up a lot of space. So it's not convenient. So I usually just get the extension cord for that. So alright. And that's it for the packaging. Really not much, because it's Apple. Alright, and let's look at the computer itself here. Alright, here it is. So I got the midnight blue version. This is a new color that came out. And people said that it's a fingerprint magnet, and I kind of understand that. I mean, wow, this thing, as soon as you put your hand on it, it basically gets fingerprints on it. So that's just something to keep in mind, I guess. If you get the midnight blue version, I mean, look at this. I literally just if you handle your MacBook Air in any sort of way with this finish, it's going to get fingerprints. But I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, just be aware, if you get this color, you're going to get fingerprints on it. This is about, I think the weight is about the same. They didn't change the weight that much, still about 3 pounds, which is light enough for most people. I kind of still prefer it if it was lighter. Like my HP Dragonfly Elite is 2.5 pounds. It would have been nice if it was 2.5, but it's still around 3 pounds, like 2.9 to 3 pounds, I'd say. So yeah, pretty light, but it could be lighter. Yeah, so if you look at the ports here, here's the MagSafe. It's back, so that's good. I always liked MagSafe, really useful. Basically, if you trip over your cord or anything like that, it will just unplug it instead of taking your computer down with it. Then you get 2 USB-Cs, as before. Then on this side, you see there's a headphone jack. So yes, good, they kept the headphone jack. Basically, yeah, they just added the MagSafe, and that's it. Every other port is roughly the same. They didn't add any new ones. But didn't take away any either, so that's good, I guess. And yeah, let's open up. Ooh, and of course it boots up as soon as I open the MacBook. Alright, everything else, it looks about the same as the MacBook M1. So the keyboard is the same keyboard. It's a scissor switch keyboard that I really like. I'm really happy that Apple went back to this keyboard. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure most people hated the butterfly keyboard. Just didn't have any travel at all. Apple says it's more accurate. Well, the scissor switch one is also pretty accurate, and it feels a lot better to type on, and plus it doesn't break. The butterfly keyboard breaks so often. Pretty much every MacBook owner I know with a butterfly keyboard has, like, they basically messed up within a few years of having it. So yeah, this keyboard is really nice to type on. Yeah, the nice scissor switches. Yeah, this is a nice throwback. It's saying hello in every language, and this is a nice throwback to when Steve Jobs introduced the first Macintosh. And when he opened up the computer, it basically said hello on it. It wrote hello, and that was kind of a huge deal at the time. So it's cool that they have that going. So the other reason I got the MacBook Air instead of the MacBook Pro is not only because the MacBook Air has the same processor as the MacBook Pro, the M2, so you're not getting a huge upgrade when you go to the MacBook Pro. The differences are really that the MacBook Pro has better cooling, which allows it to use more of the M2's power, I guess. So yeah, I don't need like really too much power. I think the MacBook Air is enough for me. Still has the M2 processor. Just doesn't, yeah, it doesn't utilize the full strength of the M2 processor as the Pro would. But the other reason is because no touch bar, and I really don't like the touch bar. So yeah, the fact that the MacBook Air doesn't have the touch bar is a good thing. The Pro only comes with the touch bar, so that's another thing. If the Pro didn't have a touch bar, I might consider it. But right now, the Air doesn't have a touch bar, so that's another reason to get the Air. So yeah, this is a pretty nice set of keys. I think this might be different. I think the Escape key is actually larger than what I remember. So that's cool, yeah. You can see the Escape key is actually a bit larger. So that makes it easier to press. That's good. I guess, you know, a lot of people use that key. So this is the first key they changed back to a physical one.
To use English as the main language.
This is pretty cool. It says it in every language.
To use English
Didn't notice that about that, about macOS. So yeah, and you have your standard macOS kind of keys right here for the functionality. One other thing I noticed is the Touch ID here. So this has been enlarged. So compared to my previous MacBook Air M1, they made this bigger, and that's cool. Because the MacBook Air M1, it's a lot smaller. The Touch ID, I mean, it works, right? It works well on my MacBook Air M1. It's just this one they made it larger and easier to press. So this is the power button and the Touch ID, and they made it larger, easier to press. Nice. All right. So also, if you look at the display here, you can see that there is a notch here. That's similar to the newer iPhones, and that's because they got rid of a lot of the bezels and reduced it, right? They reduced the bezels, just like with well, the newer iPhones past iPhone 10. So they use that kind of design to give a little bit more screen real estate. It's 13.6 inches instead of 13.3, but now you have a notch. So yeah, but I think this display should be better compared to my previous MacBook Air. So yeah, we can easily log in with just like that. It's so fast. See how quickly that works, that fingerprint sensor there. All right, now I have my MacBook all set up. So we're gonna test out some things here. First, we can test out the speakers. Now, the thing that I noticed is that this one doesn't have the speaker grills that my old MacBook Air did. So I guess those speaker grills were like cosmetic anyways. Like, people were saying those are not really like, they don't really help the speakers sound as well as they did. I mean, the speakers on the MacBook Air were really good. So this one doesn't have any kind of speaker grills. So I think the sound may be actually coming from the bottom, which, by the way, the bottom is interesting too, because the bumpers, I think they raised them a bit compared to the previous MacBook Air. So it looks like the bumpers, they made them a little bit more raised. So that's interesting. So yeah, you can't see any kind of grills in here, but that might be cosmetic anyways. Let's listen to the sound from this MacBook. All right, full volume here. Very nice. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what kind of sound they can get out of this, even though I don't see any kind of, I don't see where the speakers are, but wow, it sounds great. So yeah, the speakers really good on the MacBook Air. I mean, Apple's MacBooks have really good speakers since 2016. That's one of the good things that they did about the MacBook redesign back then. One of the few good things, and they managed to fit some kind of really nice speaker system, some kind of really I don't know what kind of feat of engineering they achieved here, but MacBooks have always had really good speakers since then. Like my Asus ZenBook Duo is probably the one that comes the closest. That one actually has pretty decent speakers. That one uses Harman Kardon speakers. That's probably the only other laptop around this size that I have. I think that kind of sounds pretty good, around the same ballpark. But yeah, the speakers on this are really good, especially for the size. Just like Apple somehow put really nice speakers in their MacBooks. I don't know how they did it, but yeah. All right, now let's check out the display. So I'm going to mute it because I don't want to get into any issues with copyright. But yeah, you can see the display here. This is the 13.6-inch IPS display as True Tone and P3, as you would expect. And yeah, very, very nice display. I would say MacBook displays are also among the best. So yeah, that's the thing about MacBooks. I know they're expensive. A lot of people say they're overpriced. But one thing you cannot deny is that they have really nice displays and really nice speakers for the size. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of other laptops that have better speakers or better displays at this size, right? So, yeah, I mean, again, going back to my Asus ZenBook Duo, I think that's the only other laptop that really kind of competes in terms of display, the color gamut, and well, the brightness, actually I can adjust this to full. This is it's just half brightness. Like, look at full brightness here. See how bright that is? Yeah, that's really, really bright. Really amazing. So, yeah, beautiful display. Yeah, it's one of the top laptops. I think only Asus laptops can really compete because they have that Pantone verified, validated display. And, well, Asus makes really good panels as well. They have OLED laptops as well. I think the ZenBook, they have OLED. Zen Flip, they might have OLED. VivoBook, I think, has OLED as well. So I think Asus, probably the only other one. I know Lenovo has some Dolby Vision enabled laptops too. Yeah, those are probably the only laptops that can compete in terms of display. Those ones with the HDR certified or whatever. Yeah, speakers wise, pretty much only the Asus ZenBook Duo that I know of, that I have, can really compete with this. So yeah, really, really good all around. I can test I already have a video that I was editing here. I'm going to test how long it takes to output this video. I'm going to export it. 16-minute long video of me guitar jamming. Yeah, let's put the M2 processor to the test here. All right, 1080p, we're going to do 1080p. I don't do 4K. Well, for a few reasons. 4K because the file is just way too big, and honestly, like, most people watch YouTube on their phones and stuff anyways. They wouldn't even appreciate the quality of 4K. So yeah, I usually still do 1080 when I export. So I'm going to do guitar jam. See, this is more like a jazz jam. Jazz jam. And this was yesterday. Okay. See how long that takes to export. You see in the corner here, so it's iMovie. 3 minutes. Okay, so it's telling me 3 minutes to export this. That's pretty incredible. So yeah, it took about 2 minutes to export this video file, 16-minute video, with a filter on it actually. I actually didn't give the M1 enough credit. I think the M1 actually took 3 minutes, and this one takes 2 minutes. So yeah, it's definitely faster than the M1. Not exactly double. Yeah, I don't think it's actually double the speed, but it's, yeah, this one takes 2 minutes to export a 16-minute video in iMovie. My M1 took around 3 minutes, I would say. A little bit more than 3 minutes. So yeah, that's incredible. So definitely a huge boost, and of course the 16 gigs of RAM and everything helps a lot as well with multitasking. So yeah, what can I say? This is a really nice computer. So yeah, there it is right here. Is my exported video here. Actually, you guys will see this on my YouTube channel later. Alright, yeah, that's the MacBook Air M1. Yeah, I love the keyboard. It's the same keyboard as before. I love the speakers. I love the display. That's all the same as before. The large trackpad. And they added MagSafe back, which is great. Yeah, I love to see the return of MagSafe. Didn't take any ports away. Good. Only thing is this, oh my god, this finish. This midnight blue finish, just be careful. Look how many fingerprints I already got out of it. Other than that, it's MacBook Air. So what can I say about it? It's a really nice laptop in general. I know a lot of people out there don't like macOS, don't like Apple, etc. I'm not gonna say I'm a huge Apple fanboy. I'm not. Right? I have the iPhone 12 mini as my main phone. I just got the new iPad Air M1 as well, and yeah, now I just got the MacBook Air M2. So I do own a lot of Apple products, but I'm not like a huge Apple fanboy. I'm not gonna say they're the greatest company. They did all this great stuff. I don't say that, right? Because you gotta be realistic here, right? I give Apple share credit, but you know, there's other companies that also innovate a lot more too. So, anyways, yeah, I'm just a huge fan of gadgets and computers and yeah, technology in general, right? So I appreciate just good technology. And what can I say? MacBook Air M2. It's a really nice laptop. Would I pay the price for it? I'm not sure. I don't think I would pay full price for this. $1,400 for this configuration. I'm glad I got it at a discount. I'm not sure if I would pay the full price for it, but it is a really nice computer and definitely a great upgrade over my old MacBook Air M1. And oh yeah, a few other minor differences I forgot to mention between this one and the old MacBook Air M1 is the bottom section here, the bottom part of this display does not say MacBook Air anymore. It used to say that on my M1 Air, but this one does not. It just doesn't say anything. So I'm not really sure why they got rid of that. I actually liked it saying MacBook Air here. It doesn't say that anymore. And yeah, it just feels a little bit different. Feels a little bit more matte, the finish, compared to the MacBook Air. Like I said, the bumps on the bumpers on the bottom here, a little bit more raised compared to the old MacBook Air. So that's different. And also, I think this is something that has to be noted is that now it's a relative thickness. It no longer tapers down. So MacBook Air, I think all the way since the first one was introduced in 2008, the MacBook Air going back to the first one has always been tapered, right? It's basically been like thick here, but then like tapered down here to be a thin point. It's kind of like a wedge, but starting with this one, the M2, it no longer does that. It's just it's like the MacBook Pros. It's very, very uniform. So that's something that's different from, it's a change from the previous MacBook Airs. So, and I think this is also something interesting. I'm not sure why they decided to go with this route. It's just a design choice they made. Because yeah, all the previous MacBook Airs, they taper down with like a wedge. This one no longer does that, which is fine. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I guess they want to make it look more like a MacBook Pro, I guess. But yeah, now like actually from the outside, you can no longer tell. Like the MacBook Air used to be kind of distinctive because of that wedge, but now it just doesn't look that different from a MacBook Pro from the outside now. Also, the corners aren't as sharp anymore. Yeah, these are actually like nice rounded corners. I know that's a weird thing to talk about, but the old MacBook Airs, it kind of had like a sharp corner that kind of dug into your palms, actually, if you grip it like that. That's also something I noticed as well. Like, this part was actually quite sharp on the in the lid as well on the old MacBook Air, but on this one, it seems like it's more rounded, and I don't know, it just feels more comfortable to hold. Okay, so I actually looked it up on Apple, and the weight is actually fairly light compared to the previous MacBook Airs. This is actually 2.7 pounds, which is 0.3 pounds lighter than the previous generation. Yeah, because I remember my MacBook Air M1 was actually about 3 pounds. So this 2.7, it's actually noticeably lighter. I know it's only 0.3 pounds difference, but it's actually noticeably lighter. So I think that's probably one reason I felt like the material is a little bit different. Because yeah, the material just, I mean, it feels lighter, right? I mean, still solid, right? Still such a solid material, but at the same time, it feels lighter. So I think Apple must have changed something. Maybe they were using like carbon or magnesium or something here to make it lighter while still retaining the durability. But yeah, I think it's not like the pure aluminum that MacBooks used to always use anymore. The material definitely feels a bit different. But yeah, I mean, the benefit you get is that it does feel noticeably lighter. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. And as always, thanks for watching.